Alright, I'm sitting here in the back of my motorcycle. One good thing about these big ass fat tire bikes, one of the few good things, well, they look awesome sitting still, and you got a nice big fat fender in case your girl's got a big ass, which that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It's all a matter of taste, right? But for me, my big ass, being that I'm 265 right now, sitting on this big old back fender, it's a nice comfortable place to perch to make this video, so has some good qualities to it. Ain't all bad. In fact, hell, just having something to ride. You know, beats not having something to ride, right? More ways than one, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just in a really good mood, man. It's awesome, awesome weather today. It is so sunny out here. I can't, is this screen too bright or what the fuck? I got to darken it up? I think it's fine. I can't tell because there's some, please forgive my language. My God, I'm trying. Work with me here. We all fall short. We all fall short. I'm not the only one with problems, issues that need to work on. I mean, look at me sitting there smoking. This is actually a Maker's Mark guitar. Guitar. Maker's Mark cigar that I had given to Dave. It's really cool. Comes sealed in wax, all that shit. It's not bad smoke. I had given it to Dave. He passed away. He couldn't smoke it. He did smoke, however, one of those awesome custom Gorilla with a Cause cigars with the Gorilla with a Cause band around it. Yeah, that shit was good, and he got to smoke one of those, and he liked it. He loved it. Smoked the whole cigar. But this one he didn't get to, so I copped it, and I figured I'm going to smoke it on a beautiful day like today, sitting on this motorcycle talking to you good people in honor of my brother. Because we had a lot of plans for this summer. Anyway, got an email from a brother named Sam, gorilla brother named Sam. He's from the Northeast, USA. Not going to disclose exactly where his clandestine location might be. He knows who he is. And he's a law dog. In fact, he is a detective law dog, and he's a young buck too. So congratulations to him, man, because he must be motivated and upwardly mobile at not even 30 years old yet, and he's already made detective. That's incredible. That's awesome, good shit. I'm a former security specialist myself. Yeah, I know, big effing deal, right? Anyway, hey, it's federal, baby. But I'm a former in a lot of things. Not all good. Anyhow, Sam's a powerlifter. He's been powerlifting like 8 years. And he's developed a great deal of strength. But now he's kind of been there, done that. I know how that feels. I've been in that, I was in that same set of shoes when I discovered bodybuilding. Been there, done that. So he decided now maybe he wants to go ahead and explore the wondrous world of bodybuilding. Old school bodybuilding, real world bodybuilding, and put some size on, man. Change his physique now because he's got the strength. Now he wants the size. See, a lot of guys, you know, you hear a lot of the haters talk about that us big guys, bodybuilding, we don't have the strength, but we're walking around with all the size and it doesn't make sense to them. You know, little do they understand that we actually do have the strength. Little do they understand that there's many ways to skin that cat, and if I were to take most of those little haters and get them to go into the gym with me, they wouldn't keep up. They wouldn't keep up. The amount of weight that I'm actually using for these exercises, they couldn't mimic that, and they couldn't carry, and they couldn't hang with me rep for rep. You'd have a heart attack. You have to bring that old jump box out on the floor for them, especially certain people that are not fit at all. Anyway, so Sam wants some advice on how to maybe go about this transition. Well, Sam, here's some really awesome news for you. Yeah, it's been my experience, and I got a lot of that fellows that go from bodybuilding, fellows that go from powerlifting or the strength sports to bodybuilding, they have very incredibly successful transitions. And they put on size and mass easily. That's been my experience all the way across the board, 100%. Now, the converse, fellas that have been bodybuilding a long time, switching over to powerlifting, that don't always work out so good. That's iffy. It might work out tremendously well, but it also might lead to a whole shitload of injuries for them, because what we do requires such an enormous amount of micro tear over top of micro tear over top of micro tear, just redundantly over and over, so many years and years and years and years, that I do believe that if you decided just to go and switch over onto some, power type of strength sport, that you're at a higher risk for an injury than somebody that was just specifically just doing strength sports. It's my opinion. Anecdotally, from what I've seen, it seems to pan out that way. But anyway, back to the gorilla brother at hand. Sam, if you don't want to shit can all of your powerlifting type of I don't want to say, you're not exactly your workouts, but you kind of want to do like a power building type of thing more, which is what I always did and would be doing till this day if I hadn't had some of the injuries that I've had and I wasn't pushing 57 years old. So what I recommend is you stick to, you warm up and you work up, like say, all right, you're going to do, you split your body up, but I don't do the typical bro split type of thing. I kind of do like a push-pull. More of a push-pull type of thing is actually what I do. I don't go in the gym and do one body part, or even two body parts. I go in the gym and I'll have it set in mind that today's typically, I may call it chest day. I may call another day back day. I may call another day, a leg day is leg day. But it will embody a lot more, it'll cover a lot more of my physique than only chest. And what it will consist of and how far that spreads depends on how I'm feeling that day and how things are going and what I've done previously and how much I'm recovered at that moment. So on a chest day, the chest is going to be my priority, of course. So what I'll do first is whatever the priority muscle is. And I break it up to, chest, back, legs. Those are the priority big muscles. And the corresponding, each of the individual big three movements that correspond with that body part, that's what I open with while I'm freshest. Because you're only fresh once in there. You're only capable, I don't know why people don't understand this, you're only capable of 100% exertion. Well, you still can exert yourself with 100% of whatever you got in the tank, but you only have access to 100% of your strength. On your best day, if all else is great and falls in line, during that first exercise. After that, you're pre-fatigued. You're pre-fatigued. You're feeling the effects of that. So it's very important how you order your exercises. In that first exercise is the crucial number one key fundamental founding mass builder. So chest day, it's all flat bench for me, man. I'm a flat bench guy when it comes to building chest. Not so much today, but I've already explained it why. So what you would do is you go in, you want to warm up, and I like to warm up. I was always a guy that didn't warm up thoroughly enough, and older guys always told me, you're going to pay for that one day. You're going to wreck your shoulders doing that. I would go in and my first set would be 2 1/4, when I was young, when I was in my 20s. And guys told me, they said, you're not going to be able to continue to do that, man. Sooner or later, you're going to mess yourself up. And they were right. So later on, what I started to do and have done for a long, long, long time is I would open up with just the bar. I'll just get under the bar on the bench, and I'm just going through the movement, and I'm actually trying to almost pull the bar down because everything's so tight. It's not, I'm going to feel tight. It just is what it is. I'm a big guy. So I'm basically pulling the bar down lower every time as I'm loosening up, trying, free everything up and just get into the groove of the mechanics of the motion. And then I'll put on, maybe a 45 and a 45, and I'll hit that a few times. Then I'll put on, 2 45s each side, and I'll hit that a few times. But I'm not going to stress myself, you understand? I'm not going to stress myself. I'm not going to sit there and rep that shit out like it means anything. I'm just going to hit it a few times. And what I'm doing here is I'm angling for a little central nervous system trickery because, You know, we all have fast and slow twitch muscle fibers, and regardless of what people say to you, that you can't train specifically for one or the other, there's a lot of overlap, but yes, your training can lean more heavily to one than the other. It absolutely can. If it's a drastic lean, okay, drastic shift, as such with powerlifting or any of the strength type of sports, or bodybuilders who do all volume and no, you know, lower, heavier weight movements. They're cheating themselves out of potential for great additional growth both ways. When and if growth is a consideration. So, you know, I'm basically just going to load weight on the bar, keep adding a little bit of weight at a time, moving up in weight, and just hit comfortable reps. That's all. Just loosening up. When I start to get a little bit, you know, like by the time the fourth set is there, I'm not even going to really call it a set because I haven't really done much. All I'm doing is putting a little blood in there, just warming up a little bit. I really haven't challenged myself, and that's the key. You're not trying to challenge yourself. Not trying to challenge yourself. For example, you know, by that fourth set, I might have a weight on there that normally I can only get, I don't know, 12 reps, maybe. Well, I'm not going to try and do 8 reps. I'm going to do maybe 4 reps, maybe 3 reps. Depends how I feel. Just pow, pow, pow. But good form, slow, you know, nice. And then I'm going to start to add weight and do a single or a double. Bang, bang. Then I'm going to rest. I'm going to add weight. Bang, bang. Then I'm going to rest. I'm going to add weight, maybe bang. Add weight, bang. And I'm going to continue that way. Of course, the weight I'm adding is being greatly reduced from set to set now. And until I get to the point that I'm basically almost performing a 1 rep max, you know, in as much as I can. I don't typically have somebody pull it up off of me, so I have to get the weight. You know, so it's pretty much going to be a 1 rep max that I can manage by myself, you know, to do a full complete rep. And that doesn't mean I'll cut myself too light. I haven't gotten stuck before, but I'm pretty good. I mean, if you've been lifting heavy weight, I'm sure you are too, that you can feel the load and you know where you're at. So when I get to that point that I've basically done pretty near a 1 rep max almost, damn near, then I'll rest. Now the rest time between these sets as I'm beginning to put some strain on, they're kind of longer than longer than what I'm normally going to do for my volume type of work that's going to come later. This is the first exercise of chest day, the barbell, flat barbell bench. After I've gotten that one single and it's been, you know, balls to the wall, wide open, then I'll re-rack that. I will strip down to what my normal weight is that I can only get maybe 12 reps or 11 reps, okay? Then when I'm rested, now I'll jump under there, and guess what? I normally could only get 11 and 12 reps. I guarantee you that I'm going to get 15 to 17 reps now. And I guarantee you will too. Now people think, oh, that's impossible. How can that be? Try it. I have yet to meet anybody that I took into the gym and worked that way with that didn't prove it out that way. You know, I say, what's your 10 rep max? They tell me. We go up above it. When we come back down the way I've described, they hit that weight. That's their working hypertrophy rep range there. That's the weight for that. That's the weight that needs to go up for you to get bigger. That weight, that set, those sets, the working sets. And I'll do 2 or 3 work sets, and then I'm done with that bench. You know, I'll do 2 or 3 work sets. That's where the strength matters, and that's why strength is of concern to a guy like me that was a really large bodybuilder at one time. Just to build that density, that thickness, that mass. I'm concerned about strength. In as much the 1 rep max continues to go up, I actually acquired a very respectable bench, but it wasn't my top priority. It's just serendipity. It's going to work out that way because what I'm after is to get those working rep hypertrophy sets, to get those bastards up higher until I'm doing, once I, you know, the first set, maybe I will get 15, 17 reps. That second set, I'm not going to get that. That second set, that would be all out. So that second set, I may get, I don't know, I may get 15, I may get 14. And then my last set, I may get 12. I don't know. Who knows? But that's enough, and that's good, and that'll get it done. And then if I got too many reps in that work set, then the next time around, of course, that work set's going to be a little heavier, a little bit heavier. You know what I mean? It's just typical type of thing, progressive resistance. But that's the weight that matters to a bodybuilder, is their hypertrophy work sets That weight needs to go up. That's where strength comes in. Bodybuilders, you know, contrary to what a lot of these knuckleheads think, bodybuilders are concerned with strength. In that regard, that is certainly a factor. Strength is always a factor in building any kind of muscle. It's a factor in building strength, and it's a factor in building muscle. Strength is still desirable. It needs to be cultivated. So that would be chest day. Now, when I'm done with that, what do I do next? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But I'm kind of more inclined to do incline chest type of exercises after that. All incline. You know, of any form, any shape. Because nobody lacks lower pecs. If you build up some pecs, you're going to have lower pecs. You may have an issue with outer pecs that you may have to specify. You may have an issue with inner pecs, but if you're doing enough incline work, various types of incline work, and you're really putting in the work, you're going to build a good chest. You're probably going to build a good chest, you know. Unless you're at some kind of genetic disadvantage or your form is just really, really bad, or you're just not getting in there and really pushing yourself. Or your nutrition is shit, you know. So that's the approach to take, and I do likewise with everything else, you know. Now, everything that comes after that first exercise, the rep sets are higher, it's more typical what you consider to be bodybuilding when you think of those type of workouts, and you see most people post on YouTube, it's more of that. But the weight still is heavy for me. You know, when I'm doing cables and I'm doing all this, the weight is still heavy, man. A lot of guys that think bodybuilders aren't strong, you know, and again, without fail, you get them in the gym, train with me, and I have the advantage because I'm used to training that volume and consistently moving that weight. I don't fatigue like that. Why don't I fatigue? Because those slow twitch muscle fibers are so well developed. They're overly developed. Which fibers are the largest? Which are the largest? Fast twitch are the largest, larger than two. They're your explosive power, you know, muscle fibers. But which do you have more of? Everybody's got more of, lots more of. Slow twitch. Slow twitch. So now I'm working, you know, the first exercise, you can't really, it's true you cannot really specify one or the other completely and entirely, but I'm angling for those fast twitch fibers at first exercise. After that, it's all about slow twitch. It's all about volume, higher reps, rep ranges. Like, I apologize for that. Daggone data card was all filled up, so I had to come in here and get rid of some of this shit off of there. All right, so where were we? Rep range. So after I've gotten that initial chest exercise and that first exercise, the flat bench, you know, longer rest periods there, perform the way I've described it. It may take me an hour to do that. Back in the day, it may take me less, but it's not unreasonable sometimes for that to take me an hour. Because I'm resting longer between sets. And again, the sets are they're not that stressful, but nonetheless, I am resting longer. When I get to the ones that are stressful, you know, then I need to rest longer. So behind that, it almost doesn't matter what I do. Just go out there like a kid in an amusement park and just explore the rides, ride all the rides, you know. Maybe do 3 more chest exercises. It literally almost doesn't matter. But I would strongly recommend incline chest exercises over more flat work. You know, certainly you want to have some kind of flying motion in there, I believe. And to be quite honest with you, I'm a big advocate of some of these machines that you can sit up. You can sit in a machine and do flies. Some of those machines are incredible. There's multi-joint machines that you're not locked into a singular plane or curvature. I think that they're awesome because you can go so far back, you can get an incredible stretch. They really, I feel that in my chest in a way that nothing else does. And especially behind that bench, I like to go and do that, stretch that shit out really good and pull with that chest each time. You know, and when I get them together, I hold it together for a minute, squeeze there, and then continue. And I'll do rep ranges anywhere between that kind of shit. I might do 3 sets there, maybe 4, but probably 3 sets. And I'm already completely warmed up. And I'll do like 15, as high as 15, as low as 10, but as high as 15. Depends on the day, how I'm feeling. Very, very short rest periods, very, very, almost non-existent, just enough for me to take a couple swigs of water out of my jug. And then I will move on to, maybe I'll go to like a Smith machine. And there's a reason I'm choosing Smith machine. I've already paid my dues on the free weight bench, the flat bench. I don't need to go and do, you know, I want to go, I don't need to bring in all these stabilizers and shit because they've already been trashed and I'm getting ready to go and hit them again the last exercise. So what I will do is use a Smith machine because I can get in a variation. I'm locked in this movement so that in this plane, so I can focus a great deal more on my contraction. I really can, and it'll be consistent again and again and again. And the other thing is, I'll just do incline on a Smith machine, and almost every set I will vary that incline, not greatly, but almost. The last one I'll do is like straight up, just like a shoulder press, but I'm leaning back, so I am really working the top of my chest across my collarbones and shit. And I'll probably do, that'll probably be a minimum of 10 reps, but it'll be fairly heavy enough that I'm straining, minimum rest times. But initially I'll go over there and I may only put quarters on there. And I may have it lean back maybe, I don't know, 30 some degrees, 33 degrees or something. And I'll do, you know, probably just 10 reps, not really challenging. Then maybe put a 45 on each side and then do 10 reps. And then maybe I'll add a quarter on each side. And I'll do 10 reps. And then wherever I end up now, then I'm going to stay there and maybe do 2 sets like that. And then I'll bring that back up. And now I won't lighten the weight up anymore because they're actually easier for me now. You know, as I come up, straighten that back up, it's going to be easier for me. So I straighten that up. Maybe I'll do like a 45 degree and I'll do a set there. And then maybe I'll come all the way up to a 90 degree and I'll do some there, leaning way back. But the reason I like the Smith machine is I want to get locked in that groove where I can come so far down that it literally comes past. I have to lean my head back or I'll bust my nose on the bar. That's how high up I like to get it. So that's why I'm using the Smith machine. It's a lot safer for me to do it that way. I really can't mimic that with a free weights the same degree. And that's all for upper chest. And then when that's said and done, the last exercise for chest I'm going to do, I'll go over to a cable machine where I can do like a fly. And I far prefer the free motion fitness style machines where I have multiple adjustments on the thing. I can move it all over the place, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And what I'll do there is typically they'll have a bar, and it's a straight bar that'll lock into a clip and lock into a clip on 2 sides that I can push just like a bench bar, right? It's like a barbell, but it's on these cables. So it's all kind of wild and crazy. You're not going to go mad heavy because huge stabilizer workout, huge. And I'll do that from various angles. I'll slide the pulleys up and down so I get it from different angles. I'll do up high, then I'll, like 45 degree angle or so. Then I'll maybe go 90 degree angle. Then maybe I'll do one down low. And I'll do those bad boys. I will go like 15 reps each set minimum. And I will try to go as heavy as I can and strain out those 15 reps. By then I'm pretty beat up. So that's usually a pretty good chest day for me. Now when I get to like back day, like I've already told you, I'm going to do the deadlift. It's going to be my founding exercise, and I've already made an entire video about how I do that. There's a whole video on here. Just search within this channel about big back workout. No bullshit, big back workout, something like that. And that's the way that I'll do that. The only day that's really a little upside down is leg day. Leg day, because if you want to, you could still go ahead and do your squats first, your barbell squats. But I don't work up the singles. I do that a whole different way, right? I'm still going to stay within, I'll go heavy. I'll probably go up to 6 reps or something like that. But I'm going to move my feet in, shoulder width apart, and I literally go as far down as physically capable of going. A lot of people like to say they go ass to the grass or ass to heels, but they really don't. They think they're doing that because they're bending over and over and over instead of really going down. But I like to go down till my heels are against, my ass. My heels are against my hamstrings. I'm so far down I can't go down any further. And what that's done for me, first the reason is because once I had developed a significant amount of strength, I frequently was training alone. So most of the gyms I would be in, if they did not have a mono lift, then I've got to walk that heavy ass weight out. If they do have a mono lift, I'm training alone. So I can't operate it by myself, so I still have to walk that weight out. And that was precarious. You know, when you get to those really heavy weights by yourself, no spotter, you know, I don't want to pick it up, walk it out, and walk it back in. I didn't. I was getting pretty heavy, so by lightening that weight, by going ass to heels, literally, for real, in a closer stance, I didn't have to go as heavy. You couldn't go as heavy. You can't go as heavy. And I benefited from an enhanced development, you know, overall in my legs. Literally, my entire, you know, quads, just a really awesome amount of sweep. I have really incredible legs. I mean, there's pictures, you've seen them. To this day, even now, my legs they always have a high degree of separation. They're always all separated and sliced up, even when I'm not in shape. You know, good delineation. So that's basically what built my legs, and then the same thing, I come behind that and do whatever you want to do, explore the realm, the angles, you know, just beat the living shit out of them after that, with minimal rest between sets, and, you know, higher reps, maybe 15 reps, 12 reps, you know, higher reps, probably no less than 12 reps on anything like leg extensions or leg curls, which I might do seated, I might do standing, I might do lying. I like the machines that you can climb into and do one leg at a time, that you're pitched forward on an angle. I like that better than a straight up standing one. Now, what I have done also nowadays, and have done this for many years, is I will pre-fatigue instead. I'll do leg day backwards. I'll do all my high volume shit first. But I won't do it in like as if I'm considering that I'm saving myself for the squats. I don't look at it that way. I give everything. So it's totally backwards, right? And like it seems to go against the grain of what I said earlier about you're only going to be fresh and capable of access to 100% of the strength you best case scenario can muster, you know, in that first exercise. But with legs, it's different because I'll do so much pre-fatigue stuff that when I go back and squat now, I only got to go more than 315. You put 315 on there, ass to heels, and try and hit, you know, however many reps you can get. Let me tell you something, the reps set to set are really going to deviate. You know, the second set, you're not going to get what you got that first set by any means. The third set, you're going to get less. And you're not going to need to do many. You do 3 sets like that. You know, you're already completely, fully warm. Your legs will be blown the hell out. You barely walk out of there. I see guys do legs now in the gym that are trying to build big legs. And they're just walking around the gym, playing with their phone in between sets. You know, they're loading up a leg press and they're putting more weight on there. They're doing partial reps and they're just walking around. You know, these dudes, do they even know what a real leg workout looks like? You know, I would like to train with them just one time and show them. If you don't need to sit down, if you don't need to sit your ass down between sets, if you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to build legs up big, you're not training hard enough. You know, if you're squatting and you don't need to sit down between sets, and you're if you're walking around playing on the phone and all this shit, you know, you got to be sweating no matter what you're doing in the gym. You got to be moving. You got to be sweating, and you got to be under great duress. You've got to be under great duress. You know that. You have to demand or attempt to demand more out of that muscle than it's currently capable of delivering. You need to try to ask and encourage it to do more, to give you more. You're very selfish and greedy in that regard. You want more always, more than it can deliver. And that's going to make it adapt in a favorable way, the way you're looking for, you know, ideally. So, you know, and again, the high volume stuff is going to be everything except for the actual, founding compound movement. So that's pretty much that. And then with the other body parts, like I said, I do more of a push-pull thing. So like when I do bench or chest, once the chest is done, then I'm always going to throw some shoulders in there. Telephone, I got to see if this is Val. All right, yes, it was Val, so it's a good thing that I stopped and answered the phone. Where was I now? I keep being interrupted, either by my own ineptitude at not clearing out the damn data card, or people call me on the phone. Yeah. So, you know, I will throw some shoulders in multiple times. When I do back, I do shoulders. When I do chest, I do shoulders. Anytime I do any arm work, I do shoulders. You know, and I deviate all over the place because I want to keep it fresh. And but for the most part, it's fair enough to say that when I do chest, I feel that I don't need to specify front delts. I mean, does it look like my front delts are lacking, or they need to particularly be bigger? I'm not saying that they're overly impressive, but I'm not. You know, you don't want to overdevelop your front delts because then it makes you look hunchbacked, and a lot of us already are a little bit leaning forward and have shitty posture, but it also makes your chest look smaller. So, you know, I think that if you do enough pressing, you're going to have decent front delts. Now, your medial delts and your posterior delts, that's a different story. So if I were to do, you know, chest today, I'm going to definitely do, and like I told you, when I hit the Smith machine there, you know, my third exercise, I'm going to be doing shoulder presses. The last thing I'm going to do is when I sit that seat up straight under that Smith machine, I'm going to do shoulder. I'm basically doing shoulder presses. Now I'm leaning way back and coming right back. If I didn't lean back, I would hit myself in the face. That's why I have to lean back, because I want to get it across the top of here and bring out the muscles atop these collarbones. A little bit covering his collarbones right there. That, where these attachments are. I want to bring those out, and they are. They're there, you know, that upper chest. And that is what I owe that to, believe me. So I'll go back to do some more shoulder presses of various kinds. I'm not a big side lateral guy. If I do side laterals, sometimes I'll do dumbbells, but usually I'll use cables. I just like it better because I get better control. And I get more consistency as far as the load. It doesn't have, you know, the load changes too much with the arc of pulling the dumbbell up and coming down, and plus you can be cheating that shit up and all that. You're really not going to get a lot of momentum going pulling a cable. So I like to do it that way. I also like to do like all kind of upright rows, tons of upright rows. And I'll do them in a number of ways. I'll do them free weight, but you know what? Free weight, that was, you know, that's fine and well, but when my shoulders really grew is when I started doing upright rows with a cable. And when I started doing them, especially with a Smith machine. And again, the Smith machines, because I'm not limited there. I don't have to balance that weight. I can pull from different angles because this machine is locked in the groove. You know, I can lean way back, and as I pull up, it pulls me forward. You know, and I'll go way up. But I can lean way back, you know, pull myself up. Way back, pull myself up. And I'll do that. You know, so I'm pulling myself forward the whole, you know. I know it sounds screwy, right, goofy, but it works for me. So I'll do those. But again, you know, you can freelance, explore the realm, do all kind of different shit you want to do, but make sure that you beat the shit out of them. You know, if you gave that chest what you were supposed to give it, you ain't going to be there screwing around all day anyway now. You know, and his shoulders are already pretty fatigued. So now you just need to hit it with some, you know, a few more sets that's specifically considered as primary movers. And it's going to take care of itself. So when I do chest, I'm definitely going to do medial delts. And of course, you're always doing some front delts. But probably before I do the shoulders, well, definitely before I do the shoulders after chest, I'm going to do triceps. I'm going to do triceps. Then when I'm done the triceps, I do the shoulders like I explained, then I'm finished. Back day, after I've done my back, which I do the same thing, you know, I'll do my deadlift, just like I've explained in the other video and so forth. So when I'm done, then I'm going to specify some rear delt shit. And, you know, depending on the day, while I'm doing triceps, I may go ahead and focus more on rear delts. I may decide to focus on rear delts because when I'm doing these pulling things with cables on triceps, I'm working this rear delt. And a lot of what I'll do is I'll start back here and I have a cable here. And as I'm pulling, that's all rear delt. See this, I'm maintaining this degree of bend here in this elbow. It's locked. That's delt pulling that around. It's all delt. It's all delt. And then tricep. And I come back and it's delt. So I always exaggerate the movements like that, get that swing in there to bring that rear delt in. I do it on kickbacks, and that's why I do kickbacks with a cable, really low, because I can pull that up, it's all rear delt, and then kick it back. Pull it up, it's all rear delt, kick it back. And then after I'm done the triceps, those rear delts are so warmed up, I just roll with that. They're already there. They're already pumped. So now I'll do various cable things. You know, I may just do pulls like this. As long as I have that elbow out, you know, I'm working that rear delt. And I'll do those from angles. I'll pull down. I'll pull upwards. And I'll do just all kind of things. Seated pulling things, you know, all kind of rear delts high. All kinds of shit. I may do, you know, upright rows with cables, whatever. I'll just do a whole bunch of delt shit. And then, like I said, when I've done my back, I'll go ahead and do more rear delts that day because you can't get enough of it. I'll do more rear delts that day. And then depending how I feel, I may, on the way out the door, walking towards the front door, I may sit my ass down in just a overhead press machine, you know, because then I'm already beat up, I'm done. But I may just sit there and rep out some sets where I'm doing like high rep sets with that son of a bitch until I'm completely trashed. And then what do I got to do? Then I got to go home and eat. And of course, you know, pre-workout, there's going to be the 8 to 10 grams of L-arginine, 2 heaping tablespoons of beetroot powder, 1 to 2 servings, I'm going to be honest with you, usually 2 servings of amino power by Optimum Nutrition. I like that. It has some caffeine in there. Now, yeah, it's a vasoconstrictive, but you know what? It's compared to all the carbolin and stuff, and the effect you're going to get from all the vasodilation from the beetroot powder and the L-arginine and all this shit and the flushing you're going to get out of this, it's like throwing a pebble in the ocean. You're not going to constrict anything. That little bit of shit ain't going to do anything. And then the carbolin, I'm going to run 150 grams of carbolin. All this I'll take at the same time, 15 minutes before I go into the gym. I run like 150 grams of carbolin. I recommend that you should always run at least 75 grams of carbolin. Most people can get away with 100 easily, and then it's based on body weight beyond that. So me, 150, because I can hold that. That glycogen without spilling over and getting fat. You need to generate enough insulin to get, you know, that's going to be your driver. How are you going to get all that shit in the muscle, all that pre-workout shit you're taking? How do you get it in the muscle? But you need something to drive it there, shuttle it there, so you can use insulin, you know. And how are you going to use the insulin? Well, you produce insulin. So all you got to do is generate a spike. If you're going to go get tested for diabetes, they're going to give you 75 grams of glucose to generate a spike. You know, I'm going to use carbolin because it's better than glucose. It sustains longer, right? The proof is in the pudding as always. When I get out of the gym, my blood sugar should not be crashed. You don't want to be crashed. That means you ran out. You want to be crashed, but you don't want to be too high either. You know, you want to be manageable. You don't want it to be too high, because if it was too high, then you're going to get fat now, because whatever you're going to eat, it's, you know, you got that insulin still circulating. So if it's too high, it means you took too much. You can't hold that much yet. So I'll do that, and it super saturates the muscle with glycogen, and that's how I get these incredible, crazy-ass pumps in the gym. Now, lately, I haven't used any carbolin now for the past over a month. And it's just a little experiment that I'm doing. And when I go back to the carbolin now, I just want to see if it lessens the effect over time, or I'll know when I go back. You know what I mean? So what I'm looking like now in the gym, the pumps I'm getting from everything else but the carbolin, when I add the carbolin in, we'll see what happens now. And I'll let you know if that was a wise thing to do, or if it didn't make any difference, or whatever. You know, as far as taking that long break from it. I guess that's about it. The only thing is, like I said, you need that insulin, generate that insulin spike to drive this shit, shuttle this shit. But a lot of products will have like 10 grams of some kind of simple sugar or glycogen or something like that for that purpose in it. And usually it's going to be post-workout, which is too late. It's like shutting the gate after the cattle already got out, right? The horses got out of the barn, and then you're shutting the gate. A little too late. You want it in there beforehand. You want it circulating while you're working out, you know. As you're wringing it out, you're reloading. 10 grams, again, that's like throwing a pebble in an ocean. You're not going to generate any real spike from that. It's too little, too late. You know, day late, $1 short type of thing. 10 grams, 15 grams. You know, you can test it with a glucose meter. Average, normal, healthy person, that isn't going to generate it. It ain't going to generate shit. It's not going to spike your blood sugar level. You know, I don't know why people come up with all these ideas and they tell you things like that, and they make products like that. All they got to do is go out and buy a $25 glucose meter. They can tell for themselves it don't work. It isn't going to work. There's a reason that they give you 75 grams when they test you, you know? There's a reason. It's all well established. I'm not like reinventing the wheel here. Just taking advantage of what's already known. All right, so that's it, man. That's it. If there's anything I left out or you didn't understand or whatever, email me. I'll do some more shit like this if there's interest. I just thought it was better for me to make a video because I can get a lot more information in there, I think. I'm not sure about how concise it is, but I hope it was there, than if I were to write it all down in an email. All right, you guys take care, man. It's a beautiful day. Go outside. Enjoy your weekend. I hope it stays like this. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? I'll talk to you later.